This is Tilak. Welcome back to our TCS tutorial. This is the third part of the tutorial. Today, in the last two parts, we introduce what is TCS and like what Oracle was doing in TCS. And this part, we'll go through the setup of TCS. Uh, we just browse through that setup. We may not dive into that. From the next session onwards, we'll get into that. Like we'll create everything and we'll dive into every part of the uh, setup. In this, we just browse through the menu and we see how that setup look like and all the stuff. We'll do that. Okay. Now, once you log in, you can see a my client group. Within that, you can see compensation. If you are looking at the compensation, there is a one total part was like given for a TCS total compensation. The first part is compensation item. That is I explained to you in the last session. That is the granular level of setting. That is where that you define the source of the data. Every item, create item, which is a piece of data from the system. I mean HCM. That is what the item is. Then you see category. That is grouping of items. You can have a category, you can have subcategory as a child category also part of it. You can define that. And the definition is a group of the categories. Okay. Now printable statement template. This is I said that statement has got a two part, the output. The report has got a two part. One is online, other one is that PDF, the printable. So for the PDF, TCS uses the VIP engine. So for the VIP engine, you need a template. That there's a default template is provided. Now what you can download the template or you can create your own template and you can upload the template. So basically your logo and everything, like you want to do that, you want to do some kind of arrangement or you can customize it, you can do that. So that template can be uploaded here. Now generate statement. Generate statement is where you process the data. This also explained that the last lesson is a three-part setup, processing, and the output. So this is where you do the processing of your statement. Now burge the statement. For some reason you want to burge it, you can do the burging. That basically you want to get rid of because there is too much data, you want to get rid of it, you can do that. There's a parameter works on that, and this one is the ESS space. So there's a parameter, everything is allowed here. I will come to the monitor process. Now what happens is when you are generating the process, the generation basically you generate either for a person or a group of persons. So it get into a kind of the process state where you can monitor what is going on in that, how many people completed, how many people erred, how many people warning, and you can also from the morning statement you can you can move to that the output. This is the admin part. Here the employee has no access to this part, is only the admin one. Then view generated statement is after you process the statement, you can look at that. Okay, the view statement you can move it from here also. You can pick up a person, you can go to see the statement, or you want to look at a person's statement, you can do that here. Now, okay, what is generate printable statement? Now that in the view generated statements for only one person, so you can also basically download the printable statement from there. PDF, you can do that. For some reason, you want to print the statement for a group of people or for the entire statement, that is, you can do it from here. It is not that performant because it has to go through security and all the stuff to see that how many people you allowed to see and whoever like that bin is coming allowed to see or not. So, but you can print the group of people. Okay, the PDF, we can generate the PDF for a group of people. Now, view total compensation report. This is what happened is in a TCS, the use that employee can give a feedback. So the admin come and see that what are the feedbacks, what is the summarizing and all the stuff. They can see that how many people say good, so how many people say bad and all that. Is allow five questions for every statement. So you can see that all this detail you can see that. You can do that. Then configure total compensation global settings. Now this is I can look into that. I can get into that because this is what happened. Sorry. This is you can see now how many statement you can see maximum how many statement. For example, if a person is processing for every year and there are too many statements. So it may, you can limit the statement a person can see in the last five statement or 10 statement and like that. And the stock, well, like if the statement has got a stock, now what is the market value? You can define that. Okay, now you can ask why market value changes. Okay, this is a default setup. Then, like when you are looking to the statement, you can also give the market value. Then, what is the default currency for that? And how many days in the watching list and all this stuff. Like, show statement availability. Yes, like, statement available, how many days it is available for a person. That's what you can do that here. Okay. Okay, now there's a one more setup. There's a global setup. I also explained that when you are processing a statement, you have to define the threads. How many threads you can process that? Every thread, like how many people as a one processing can do that. Okay, it processes everybody, but there's something called junk size. Maximum how many error it can tolerate. So after that, for example, you are putting the toleration rate is 100 error. So when it's go to the 101 error, then it comes out. The reason is if you have so many errors, then something basically wrong somewhere. The data is wrong or setup is wrong, something is wrong. So there's no point of wasting your time. So how many that error toleration, everything you can define that here. Uh, that is okay. Where is that? That is maybe okay. The batch parameter. If you are looking for the batch parameter, there is a total conversation statement processing, like, it's a total. Okay, generate total common statement. Now you can define how many threads, like, if you have too many people, the thread makes longer time. So you can do the uh, maximum threads. Okay, and five threads, but you have to define, you have to know that how many, like, they say per processor there's a three thread, I believe. So you have to define how many processors are there. But when I'm talking about per processor, is that the entire application, like that it is involves like every part of like payroll, everything together. How many, like that you have defined so that you see that how many processors you need that. Then this is a maximum error allowed. Like that's a error toleration I was talking about. There's a one more column that is generally hidden, but there is something called chunk size. Okay, the chunk size is basically a thread at a time how many people you process. Okay, by default it's 20, but that you can talk to a setup and you can want to increase it because the performance is not up to the mark. You can increase that or reduce that according to that, but you need to talk to a technical people or a setup support to come to that conclude on the numbers. Okay, this is a generic setup. Okay, now we'll come back to the. Okay. Now I'll go from a set definition. I'll browse through that what it is. Then the next lesson will go to. Okay. This is that kind of a statement definition is that here basically you can view that like you can create, you can duplicate, you can give a different name for that, you can edit, delete, you can export a particular statement into XML. If you already have XML, you can import that statement. This is what it's doing here. If you are looking into that, do that. This is a setup, you have it. Okay. Now, this is a everything category. The category may have a child category or it have items. Okay. Now, if you want to see everything together, there is a view part is there. Here you can go, you can expand all. Okay. If you expand all, everything will be like expanded. Okay. Now there's a one more thing you can do here is there's a column. There's okay. Now when you are expanding it, it says this is the category. This has got a line item of the category. Now it doesn't say what are the items attached to that. Now there's a view to say that column show all. Basically, it is also tell you all other informations like what are the item attached to that particular the categories line items. That's also you can see that, and you can click here to view the item setup. That is also possible here. Then what formatting it? No, that is fine. Column detach. No, detach basically takes out of the table. That is fine. Expand, collapse all. Scroll for these all like you can go through that. It's not the things to know that. There's a one more. Yeah, it's like we will get into the detail, like when we are coming to that, what all this does, every tab does and everything, we'll get into the detail. This is what the item is. Okay, now when you are coming to that category is very similar to that. The conversation category is very similar to that. Now, here also you can duplicate that. You can't export. Export is allowed only in a statement level. So you can't export any child of that. Okay, and this is like, is all the same thing. You can format. Format is nothing but it's very common. You can search. You can like search by name, type, and all the stuff is there. You can do here. You can edit. Either you can edit by clicking here, or you can edit the item by clicking here itself. The same thing applies to statement also. Okay, now here some like is a kind of a category which allows 5 column. There are different category type of different categories which allows a different setups. We'll get into all these detail, how many types, like how many all these detail we'll get into that, and what is the level of detail, graph, everything we'll get into the detail of it. Okay, now this is how you can you can create item more here. You can add item, or you can also define a from here also you can create a conversation item. Okay, that and all you can do that. Okay, I will come to here. Now we'll come to the item. This is that the lowest part of that this one. Okay, the item the same the basically we call it manage base. Manage base look the same. Here there's no duplication since it is the lowest part you can create it. There's no duplication is allowed. Okay, and we also basically uh, everything is there. There is nothing yeah, rounding rules, estimated amount you can do that here. That basically says, and the status also it gives it here. Now let me edit one item. And okay, this is a very simple item. Is the benefit balances. Basically, here you are telling what is the benefit balance for this item, and you are saying what is the unit. Say monetary or non-monetary. If the non-monetary, monetary. Okay, sorry, if the monetary, what happened? Probably the basically monetary is that that currency is you don't have to define a currency because the currency is coming from the data. If it is a non-monetary, then you say what is that item? Okay, the current if that okay in this case it doesn't have they may not define a unit. In this case, the data provide any other cases if the data provide that unit, then that take the precedence. It will be ignored. You can also define what is the rounding rules. All this is there up to one. All this you can look at. That is a very simple. Okay. Then you can define. You can test it here also. When you are creating itself, you can test. You can provide a person statement and it give you what kind of a data you'll get it. So basically, while you are creating itself, you can test that item how it is going to look in the statement. Okay, this is what the summary view of the setup. Next lesson onwards, we'll go into that every item, everything into detail. Okay, till that, okay, bye.